Hi everybody, it's Usernamekate and welcome back to my channel. Today I am answering your questions about Suzuki's GSX-8R. So if you want to hear some commonly asked questions and what I think the answer is, then keep watching and I'll play the intro. Okay guys, so here are some of your questions. The first question is, differences from the 8S, what's its market in between sports tourer or first sports bike? Well, there are a few differences between this and the 8S. So predominantly this is a sporty looking bike. We have fairing on the front, we have different bars. These are separate, not quite clip-ons, but just kind of bars that sit on top of the headstock, just with a more sporty angle to them than the 8S. One of the big changes, and probably why there is such a price difference, is we do have uprated suspension on this one. On the 8S we have KYB suspension, non-adjustable. With this we have Showa split function forks, big piston, and they are just better damped for a firmer, sportier ride. So those are the main differences between the S and the R. Now you asked, who is this bike appealing to? A sports tourer or somebody for a first sports bike? You know what, it could appeal to any of those people. This could make a great sports tourer. There is soft luggage available for this bike, so we have soft panniers, we have a tank bag as well, which looks quite nice. It's comfy enough to be a sports tourer because the bars aren't aggressive or extreme at all, and we did some miles today and I didn't suffer with my wrists, my back, my neck, nothing. A very unextreme sports bike. Suzuki say it's the new standard of sport because everything's kind of going a little bit parallel twinny in life. Of course it's not a Gixxer, it's not a GSX-R, but we don't have a screaming inline 4 and we do have a parallel twin, and I know a lot of people roll their eyes at that, but this motor is a peach and it sounds ace, and with an exhaust I can imagine it sound even better. But for me, for everyday riding, this kind of ticks all the boxes. I would tour on it, I will track on it because we've done some track today, albeit I would like some rear sets because those are a bit dicey when they go down, they're a bit low, not much clearance. But you can with a bit of customization have this bike for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different purposes. So I just think it's a great accessible all-rounder. It's cheap enough, £8,899. Get a lot for your money. Right, next question. Is it just a budget bike for the market? It may seem that way. It may seem like a budget bike for the market, but honestly, I'm not exaggerating when I say you need to test ride this and your opinion will change of this bike. It's just got substance to it. Suzuki's 800 engine, I loved it in the V-Stroms, I loved it in the S, and I love it in this. It's just such a versatile engine. You can ride it and you don't feel like you wish you had more. And that's what I really like about this. So yeah, it might be seen as kind of a budget bike because, you know, you don't have that adjustable suspension and, you know, but having said that, it does come with a lot of things for a said budget bike. We've got quick shifter and auto blipper, we've got 3 levels of traction control and off, we've got 3 modes, which you can definitely feel the difference. They're not just there for the sake of it. And yeah, if this is your idea of a budget bike, it's a budget bike that you can have heaps of fun on. Absolute heaps of fun. Another question, is it suitable for the track? Well, you guys see for yourselves. Obviously, me showing footage of me wobbling around isn't really, you know, giving this bike its props. We've had Greg riding it today, absolute maniac. In fact, he literally was drifting around the corners. I didn't have my camera on because I thought it's first session, I'm just going to be a wobbling Wildred, and then all of a sudden he just does this cool thing and he's popping wheelies on it, and I'm like, the bike is capable. I'm not, but the bike is. And yeah, it's definitely good on track. We've all had a blast today. All had a blast. Someone said torque, brake horsepower, so we have 82 brake horsepower and we have 78 newton meters of torque. Somebody's put, how does it compare to a Triumph 765R or RS? It's not a bike that I would compare with those, because we've got 82 horsepower, we've got, you know, kind of like 118 brake horsepower off the top of memory, it might even be more. Same with the RS. So yeah, so I think it's a bit unfair to compare those. I mean, one thing this has that obviously the Triumph Triples doesn't have is torque in spades. It's got bags of it. Yeah, I don't really think it's too fair of a comparison, but this feels faster than 82 brake horsepower. Chris has put, any good as a sporty tourer? He's looking for something to tour around Scotland with. I think you'd be fine with this bike touring. I genuinely do. It's diluted enough and not thoroughbred sports bike enough for it to be able to handle a trip like that, and certainly for your back, neck, wrists to be able to handle it as well. I think it would be perfect to do some touring on, and in fact I would quite like to do a tour on this bike. Might have to see if I can convince Suzuki to lend me a Mike one and go and get some soft luggage on it and go for a ride, because I think we'd be fine on it. It's just a great bike, it's fun. I just loved it. I'm beaming a bit now, but yeah, really liked it. Would I buy one? It's hard for me to say yes I would buy one, because I won't buy one, because I have a bike in my garage that I really like for my timeline right now. But is it a bike that I've ridden today on the road and on the track, and if I was in a different place in my life, or maybe I was looking for, you know, my first bigger, powerful kind of sporty-ish bike, yeah, it's a good option. It's a good option, and I would own one. I would own one, and I would buy one. But obviously, I've got a GS in the garage, and I would get a Super Duke as well. So yeah, I can't have it all, right? But it is a good bike, and definitely something that, you know, I think a lot of people will be happy with if they do buy it. Do you think it's been a good idea for Suzuki to say bye to the V-twin and to use a parallel twin instead? It makes sense. It just seems to be the way that everyone's going, with, you know, ease of getting through emissions, how cost effective the engine is, but also it's not lacking. Like, I genuinely feel that I would rather, personally, like a V-Strom 800 with this engine over a V-Strom 1050 with the V-twin. Like, this engine is just peppy, and because of all the torque, it feels, in my opinion, better than the Suzuki V-twins. Personally, I feel like certainly the 1050, you know, V-Strom, even the SV650, they can feel a little bit flat compared to this. I'm not saying they're a flat engine, but just in comparison to this thing's got legs. It is chirpy, chipper, and yeah, bags of torque, bags of it, and it sounds mint as well. Is it a fun road bike or just boring? It's not boring. I'm not just saying that because I am here on a Suzuki launch, but the roads that we've done today, teamed with this bike, have been some of the most fun that I have had on a motorcycle. And it's not a 200 brake horsepower, full of crazy technology, full of all the things I'll never use, aggressive, angular, leery, loud. Like, it's none of that, but what it is just been a hoot to ride, honestly. The roads, if I can insert some footage of the roads we did, because my camera died unfortunately, but if I can pinch some from, say, English Biker Dan or Grace, I'll insert the footage now, and you can literally see that this bike was made for him. It's just flipping and flopping, it's handling it all. But again, it's just that being able to be in a high gear and whack it on, and the torque just goes and just pulls you like a train. If this was gutless, it would have been a lot less fun, but it's the absolute opposite of gutless, and it's quite addictive actually. So yeah, it's not a boring bike, it's a fun bike. We have had fun. The engine is the same. Does it feel better than the 8S? I'm not normally a sports bike kind of gal, but I feel like I would take the R over the S. I really liked the firmness of the suspension. I like the slightly more aggressive front because you feel like you're more over the bike, you feel like there's a bit more weight over the bike, especially teamed with the new suspension with stiffer damping. And then also the screen that it's got, I got no buffeting, and to be honest we were honking around today. No buffeting, just sheer comfort tucked behind it. Riding position, fine. It's one of those where you can kind of just grip with your legs and be really loosey-goosey on your arms because you're not so, you know, leant forward. Yeah, mega comfort, and same engine, but it does feel slightly faster. I think it's because of the aerodynamics. When you are honking along, obviously you're not getting the wind blast. It allows the air just to chop through a lot more efficiently. So it is slightly more better in performance than the 8S, purely down to the aerodynamics. Someone's put, who will be the fastest person to change the tail tidy? You know what? The tail tidy isn't actually that bad in my opinion, because I have seen the light set up for the American market, and you think this is bad? Theirs looks like a baboon's arse in my opinion. I'm really sorry, it would be the first thing that I change and whip it off. I'm sure there'll be some aftermarket companies out there that will create some fancy design to be able to do it, because there is no light here. The light is just here, so yeah, I'm sure that'll get changed pronto. And then finally, how is the seat height, and did you suffer with it at all? Right, let's have a look. I've got my leathers dangling down, so I do apologise. Just put my phone to the side. So I am a 5'4" individual with a 29-inch inside leg measurement. This has a seat height of 810mm, and this is what it's like for me to sit on the bike. So a bit of a tiptoe on each side, but when you're waiting at lights, traffic lights, it's not a problem at all, is it? But yeah, that is what it's like for visual reference for somebody like me who is a bit of a weed to sit on this bike. Well guys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed them quickfire questions that I've been asked about this bike. If I've missed anything and you have questions of your own that you'd like answering, drop them in the comments, I'll certainly try and help. But I know it's a bit obvious given how much I'm kind of gushing over it, but I am a fan of this bike. I think it is a cracking bike, and Suzuki will fly with it. They'll absolutely fly. The minute they can get bums on seats for test rides, they're going to sell a lot. So yeah, if you like what you've seen, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow, and I'm forever grateful, and I ain't too proud to beg. And until the next time guys, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!